That's good enough.
Okay, so I've started recording. So the meeting starts at 7. I have 7:03 with a quorum of Karen Ann, Elena, Joan, and Rebecca, and Deb and Hope here as well. Okay, so has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
I looked long time ago when they just came out. I think
Yeah,
they looked good.
That's the problem. It's always been so long since we've seen them. Okay, let me see if I can find.
Now, ladies,
Yes, well, if
this
something would be wrong,
is what we have to do.
yes.
This is the teacher thing, right? I have a
Yes.
folder for every month. And when stuff comes in, I just run it off that day and I shove it in the folder and forget about it until the meeting. That helps me organize. If I don't send it out when I write them, you know I'll forget them and I'll be scurrying again. So
Okay, well, I'm trying to share my screen that has it there. So it's not cooperating.
I don't know how Rebecca, but if she read it, I
okay.
think I'm okay with them. So I personally do not need to see them.
June minutes, you want the highlights? I can do the highlights. I got it.
Okay, if you want to do the highlights, like I said,
It's
I'm trying to share my screen and it does not want to share.
And
It's being very picky.
it's
Here you go.
2.5 pages. You know what?
Right, but
Okay.
the first like half, 2/3 of a page is nothing but the corrections we had to make on the maze.
Well, yeah, the other is the first thing on there is that the numbers on the May 9th meeting were wrong and they are corrected on this. Okay, so I wanted you to know that. And I did put a note in that Deborah was there, even though it didn't come up in the meeting. I put it there and I put a mea culpa on it too. Okay, treasurer's report, couldn't have one. ARPA funds, okay, Christina came in, told us he had a lot of money left, etc. And then there was a discussion about the projects that need to be done. The foundation was brought up by Ralph Telvis, and he told us the same thing he's told us 3 times before. The Montfort Company general contractors examined the work to be done, gave us an estimate of $11,000. We have an estimate of $1,000 to repair the exterior door in the basement, $8,000 for ballards around the light poles, and $5,500 to create a door through the closet. Okay, Karen suggested we apply for $20,000 from ARPA funds to cover, and the masonry repairs, the building envelope, the emergency door, the ballards package. She suggested the emergency door be combined with security cameras in another package. Okay, so this is, sounds unclear, but it is unclear on the tape. We have the emergency door supposedly put in twice, but that's not what happened. So that's okay. You know, it just, the conversation was confusing. Debbie said there were various other safety concerns, such as repair, upgrade of the HVAC system because of the air. Evidently, the system has not been maintained, etc. It was decided to prepare 2 proposals for ARPA. The first would have the repairs to the outside, the air quality improvement, the repairs to the outside door in the cellar, and the improvements to the lights. The second one would include projects as outside cameras and the emergency door. Okay, is that okay so far?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what happened. Okay. The library will be closed. The director's report. The patron computers have been updated. We made $37 on the full basket of cents. They would like to thank the Friends for upcoming summer reading program, which runs from June 21st to August 13th. That since an line item for programmers in the budget, she should get paid for extra time she has worked. Or could she get paid? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that she demanded it. Above and beyond her normal working hours while designing the summer program. Rebecca said this would have to be a separate job and not included in a regular job. So Debbie would have to be hired for the second job as well as the first. It was decided we should look into this further and gather more information. A new business was decided to hold regular meetings in July and August. Karen brought up the change to the budget because of the Board of Finances cutting our budget by 2719. This will be removed from the book account. Karen made a motion to include a job description for unpaid summer help, the interns, and our policies and procedure. Elena seconded. In favor was everybody else. Joy had left the meeting by then. Ralph Tullis was here to speak. Notice that Debbie's request was a personnel issue, but could be discussed because Debbie had brought it up herself, etc. We didn't have to go into executive. Karen made a motion to dismiss at 9:02. Elena seconded the motion, and it passed unanimously after that. Okay. I don't see anything in here that has to be changed. Did anybody else see anything that has to be changed?
I didn't notice when I read things.
If you find anything later, we'll change it next month. Okay, I don't want you to tie up. We don't want to get tied up in last month's meeting. Okay. Cut that. Okay, I'm gonna move that we accept the June minutes.
Okay, I'll second.
I seconded.
Okay, Elena will second.
I seconded.
Yeah, that's what I said. Elena seconded.
Sorry, I got disconnected. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Is that
Any
unanimous?
opposed? Any nays? Yeah, it was all four of us, so.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is the treasurer's report. So this is actually May's treasurer's report because the town apparently is getting Rebecca things very late.
Right, just wrapping up the fiscal year. They should get things back on track soon.
Okay, so this actually looks pretty good. We only have 1 month after this to the end of the fiscal year. We should end up with a balance in the positive instead of the negative this year. That would be very
Yeah.
nice.
That it looks like we're on track to have a positive balance even more than we did with COVID. So we need to take a look at that and what's going on.
Okay. Well, it's not like we don't have things we could spend it on.
That's very true. We just need to spend it on those things. Yes.
Right. Yes, Joan?
Rebecca, is this online? I didn't see it online. Was it put online yet?
She emailed it.
She did? Okay, I didn't see the email. I'll get the email then. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I put it in my folder here. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, because I pulled this off of the email account. So this is, yes, Elena.
Well, I have a question, which is not really a question. It's just if we have such a big ending balance, obviously we're not going to spend 60,000 for 1 month. It's almost 61,000. I just want to make sure that everything is correct because how come suddenly that's a significant leftover? If we over budgeted, the town can come to us because we increased even the budget
Deb?
We have,
beyond this. So I just want to make sure that we have no mistakes anywhere.
Okay, Deb?
there are no mistakes, Elena, don't worry about that. Where the problem has come in is that we have many outstanding bills and things that we were waiting for people to rectify. Many of them had overcharges and concerns. For example, one with Otis Elevator, we have with our Kellogg and Sovereign, as far as our E-rate things. We have multiple, way too many people who did not come through to us in time before June 30th. We had to end the budget because that's what the town does. That's what we do on June 30th. Unfortunately, what's going to happen when these things finally do get resolved, and we've waited many months for a lot of these things, it's going to mess up our next year's budget because now all these big amounts, and we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, are going to show up on our new budget. So it's going to throw us off. Yes, we're ahead right now, and that money will go into the fund balance, but that money is spoken for. we did what we did. We can't make people do their jobs, and we're just waiting on so many different companies.
That's why we can use this money that's rolling over for those things that are going to show up. Then it won't be going on our new budget.
But now I would suggest talking to Tish about that, only because we start with a new budget as it is, like what was approved by the town. When these bills come in and we add it, it will go on to our budget. You will notice that these things are going to show up. The good thing is, you know that the money is going to be there in the fund balance. So at the end of the year, when it looks like we have spent too much, the money is there, but the way it's going to look on the budget is not going to look good. It's going to look like we're spending more money than we have.
Okay, the difference is what's going to show up on paperwork versus what is actually going on. And what is going on is this will go into the fund balance, and then this will be used to pay off all those bills, but it's going to show up on Tish's paperwork as looking like it's from next year's budget. That's really Tish's problem. She's the one that does all of that.
It's just the way it has to be and the way it's practiced. She explained to everybody else, even in town, when that happens. We're not part of
What
it.
we can do is have a transfer from the fund balance into our budget. So that would actually be a counterbalance line item. I don't see why that would be a problem for her to do.
That's something you could certainly check with her. We're only going on what Hope and I were told, Rebecca. So yeah.
Joan?
Probably every department has this problem.
Mhm.
I would sure, I
You
would
know,
assume,
so
yes.
The town knows how to, as long as we got the money there to pay the bills, and it's not an exorbitant amount over what we need for the bills, then let's just go with it. How's that?
Well, it's looking like we're going to have about $45,000 in excess, and I can't imagine that we've got that many bills. So I think we still need to take a look at, I mean, unless I'm wrong,
Mhm.
Debbie, is there 45 grand outstanding?
I don't have the total in front of me. I know is that there's many, and they're in the thousands. So I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'm not a work, so I can tell you.
Honest truth, Rebecca, it adds up really fast. I doubt it's probably 45,000, but it will add up pretty fast.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on the treasurer's report? Okay, then let's take a look at the director's report. I can get rid of the treasurer's report. I can find the director's report. Here we go. Okay. Who's starting? Deb, Hope?
I can start. For June's drawing of the $35 gift certificate to Willow Valley Farms with the cookbooks, we made $14. This month's drawing is a painting donated by a local artist. We have been able to bring many more resources to patrons recently. We have mobile hotspots available for them. We have on our website, you can click places called the Palace Project and research it. These are all digital tools for patrons to use to access ebooks, audiobooks, and all sorts of other digital media. So it was really great that we got to expand in that area. Our patron computers have been updated as far as machines and getting them running on their own networks. We did just purchase the Windows licensing for them as well. So this week that licensing will be in place. So they'll be complete. The company we're using, Novus Insights, they're actually who we're going to be going through for our infrastructure grant. They're coming out for an assessment in August. The person who did our computer overhaul is actually one of the people assessing our building for the grant, and he already knows the direction we're going in. And I talked to him today, and he said, compared to other libraries, we're almost caught up to speed. He knows the direction we want to go in, so it's going to be really great to have our infrastructure technology-wise up to snuff. As we just talked about, there are a lot of things that we didn't get on the last budget that we really wanted to, that we're still going after, which we just talked about. And then just Patricia Godbout had passed away recently. She was a Wellington resident, and we received generous donations in her honor. And that's it for our report.
Okay. Questions about the director's report? No, everybody's good with that? Okay, then the next thing on the agenda is old business, and basically the old business is the ARPA. The last meeting was June 27th. Requests had to be in by the Friday before June 24th. I thought they had to be in by 2 o'clock, and it turns out they had to be into Christina by noon so she could get them to Robin by 2 o'clock. So we were a little late. So I did go to the ARPA meeting, the public meeting today, to present, but at the time, there were not a lot of things to present. So what got submitted for ARPA was $27,600. That included the quote from Action Air for the HVAC.
Okay, what's Action Air?
That's the HVAC. Oh, you want the actual number?
No. You're using these names that I have no idea who they are.
That's why I said Action Air is the HVAC people.
I'll just put down Action Air, and it's how much for Action Air?
1,900. But that's to fix the Lennox units, which are the HVAC units on the roof. There's $1,000, and all the rest of them go to WJ Mountford. That's the company that actually built the building. They're a general contractor in South Windsor. There's $1,000 to repair and replace rotted trim around the door out of the basement to the back. That's actually not bad at all. There's $11,100 for all the work that needs to be done to the damaged foundation work and the retaining wall where the patio is off the children's library. Now that quote does not include the fact that we would need to go out and scrub off mold that's growing and power wash it before they came in and did the work. So that would be something that would have to be done by us. And then the last one was $5,400, and that is the Egress Store. And the reason that the Egress Store got put in, even though the last minute said that it was going to be put in separately, was because it was a fairly low request. So I went ahead and put it in. What did not get in was the bollards for the light poles, which is another, I believe, $9,000. So we have gotten a lot more quotes from Montford, but they only came in Saturday. So I contacted town this morning and got a message back saying ARPA was not taking anything else at this point. I tried emailing Christina directly and didn't hear back from her. So we did mention it at the ARPA meeting. We will attempt to submit these at a later date as soon as ARPA will take more submissions. Otherwise, my recommendation is we keep these quotes and submit it to CIP in November, as long as we have the quotes. So the other quotes we have are for fixing the floor in the mechanical room, putting a chain link fence around the HVAC equipment at the back of the building. Deb had a concern about the fact that if you look at where the end of the driveway is around the south side of the building. There's just a huge drop off. The Beckers are willing to bring boulders that we could use to create a barrier there. So they would just bring them. We would have to place them. So there's a quote from Montfort to place those. What, Joan?
Gonna put it-
Yeah, maybe if everybody in the library get out there, but they're talking
Let's see.
boulders.
Well, I'm sure that the town maintenance has a forklift. Usually we use forklifts in the parks.
Nope, they won't do it.
Then what are we gonna do? If they just come and dump the rocks.
We have to hire somebody to do it. The town will not do it. I had a meeting with Erica and have been informed that beyond plowing our driveway and mowing our lawn, the town has no obligation to do anything for us.
That's disturbing, yet in one side, it's freeing.
Well, it does mean we can do whatever we
We have
want
to
if we can
think
find the
on this
money
one.
for it.
We have to think on this one.
Okay, and then there's a quote for almost $20,000 to fix the gutters at the front of the building, which create a lovely waterfall effect whenever it rains. And then some quotes I wasn't actually expecting, Deb. There are quotes for painting the inside of the building, the outside of the building, and washing the windows. Oh, and replacing the flooring in the community room in the lobby downstairs. The problem is all of these together, these last quotes, the painting inside and outside, the washing the windows, the replacing the floor downstairs, comes to $148,500. They want $50,000 to paint the outside and $71,000 to paint the inside. Then they want another $22,000 to replace the floors and $5,000 just to wash the windows. Yes,
Quick
Elena.
question. So, when we are talking about painting outside, which place to paint? I thought it's a big building. What are we talking about?
Yeah, window trim and stuff. Deb?
I was just gonna answer, the building is brick and mostly windows. There would be things like trim around the windows, trim around the top where you walk into, where the things like the gutters, it would be mostly trim because it is a brick building.
For $50,000?
Yes, for
I can do
$50,000.
Think about how high, how big, what kind of equipment.
The
It's
problem
never
is they
been-
have to bring in a cherry picker.
Yeah, it's.
So we'll get to have a work party. That's all there is to it. Okay, Elena will climb the ladders and we'll.
I will for 50,000. Come on.
Yeah, that I believe is where a huge amount of the cost comes in, is that the windows outside do go up, in the back particularly, 3 stories up. And so it really is a matter of bringing a cherry picker in. And even on the inside, particularly by the front door, those ceilings are pretty high. And so they're asking for a lot.
And
I
that-
wonder,
They can't get a cherry picker in the back, can they?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, what the hell?
I wonder if we can rent it ourselves, cherry picker. If we can check the quotes
I'm not.
and rent it.
I have a problem with heights. I'm not going up there. We'd have to look into it. Deb?
The concern is this has not been done. They are made of wood. So if it's gotten worn down in some spots to the wood where it could damage the wood. So you're talking, they've got to sand, they've got to repaint. Let's hope that nothing's damaged and needs to be repaired. You're talking about those things being in the elements for like the last 16 years. So a lot of it will probably be until they know when they get up there what needs to be done, what damage has been done. But there is a need for it if you want to preserve.
I think we could probably get cheaper quotes from people that specialize in painting. For example, my house was built in 1815. I had it painted last year, and this is only the 3rd coat of paint in 200 years my house has had. So the guys had to scrape and sand and they replaced some rotted boards. That whole thing cost me $4,000.
That's good. That's
Now,
really
That
good.
sounds normal. That's real, you know.
So
Yeah, I think, well, it's like everything, you should always get 3 quotes if you can get them to cooperate, which always is an issue. But if you get 3 quotes from 3 different people, it may not vary that much. But when it comes to painting, if the windows don't get washed, we'll be okay. But when it comes to painting, if you don't keep that woodwork, that trim painted, you're going to end up replacing it. It's going to rot and then it's going to be 5 times as much. And
Right.
ask the state of Connecticut, who has a reputation of letting buildings go downhill and then paying 5 times more than it would have been to fix it up in the first place. So I think if that's what it is, that's what it is.
okay, Deb,
Another thing was too, when we had talked to Christina as far as the ARPA quotes and stuff went, she explained that we need more than one, and we would, but we were looking to get something that we could apply
Yep.
to ARPA at the time, and she said at that time that even just one would be okay. So that was our one. And since Montford is the original people that did the construction work and whatever with the library when it first was built, he was available. He was doing things for like the envelope of the library. So it was just natural for me to go ahead and say, would you mind, entertaining the idea as far as these other things so that we would have something to submit to ARPA. But we know from ARPA that we would need more than 1 quote. But they didn't have a lot of 2 or 3 quotes even for the things they were doing because of the shortage in time.
right, and I was told that we didn't need 2 or 3 quotes for ARPA unless we were approved.
Yeah, well, it's for your own sake. I wasn't thinking about ARPA. I was just thinking for our own sake that we should have 3 different estimates and make sure that we're not picking the most expensive person by accident. I will tell you though, I have on my old business was to bring up the repairs that need to be done. So I'm very happy you brought it up right now.
Give me 1 sec, guys. Joy just texted and says she needs the link. She can't get in.
Get some more light in here. Oh.
Okay, I can't find Joy's email. There she is. I know it's not her name. So. I had to
Found
find
it?
Yeah, I found it. It's just like I said, I knew it wasn't her name, so I had to find it.
Yeah, Joy was under her phone number, wasn't she?
Okay, and my computer is just being very slow.
Okay.
Okay, come on. Okay, my computer is seizing up. Okay, would it be possible for somebody else to send Joy a copy of the agenda with the link? Because I just am having.
But I can't get into it. I just asked Hope if she could. We're
Oh, thank
working on that.
Oh, thank you.
I have it. Okay, I got the problem. Same problem as Elena. It says July 6th.
Joy found that July 6th. That's her problem. That's what she did find. She
Right,
needs to
that's what my message says. It says,
I've got the right one, but I can't. Okay, I will wait.
yeah, that whole thing was my fault. I don't know what happened with the library computer, and it.
You broke it.
I probably broke it. Yes, you're probably right, because I do not know anything about Macs.
So you do not need help. You are working with Joy?
I can send it. I just don't have her email from home.
So you do need the email.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just need the
I'll
email.
I'll send it to you. I know I
Okay.
can't get to my computer with to get at the link, so hold on, we'll make it work.
Okay.
Okay, did you guys find her
Yeah,
email?
hold on. Yeah, it's a long one.
It's a very long one, yes. it
Hold on, I'm
is.
just writing it down so then I can give it to Hope through her. Let me give us where?
Yeah, text
Just 1
message.
second, yeah. Hope Joy's being patient. Okay, Hope it's coming.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. It's just, I've
Yeah.
been having problems with my emails. It's slow. It shut down 3 times on me this afternoon trying to do stuff. I just have, it's not email, I just have crappy internet in my house. I live in Willington Hollow. I have
You
crappy
need you need to borrow one of our library's hotspots is what that's about.
Yeah, the hotspot might help.
What
I
I've tried
never
to
thought
do,
of that.
what I've tried to do during the school year is make sure I have to work 3 nights a semester for liability issues. We have, a faculty member has to be on campus. So I try and make it so the 3 nights I have are the September, October, November, or the October, November, December meetings. And I could do them from my office. Don't have to worry about this.
Okay, she should have got it.
Okay.
Hope.
Okay, I'm going to pause the recording just for a second while we wait to see if Joy gets.
The soup sounds wonderful.
Okay, hi Joy. We have been talking about ARPA funding. And just so you know, I submitted an ARPA request with the quotes that I did have very late to get to the meeting of the 27th, and I went to the ARPA meeting today to defend it. It was only $27,600, but we have a lot more quotes. But I was told today that ARPA isn't accepting anymore right at the moment. So we're going to wait to see if they will accept more over the next couple of months, and if not, we will submit it for CIP in the fall, if that's okay with you.
Well, we may not. I'm sorry. Can I say something quickly?
Yes, Elena, I'm sorry. I was waiting to hear if Joy was responding. Yes.
Okay, so just guess, if in case we do have a lot of money left, then we do not even need to submit to CIP. We can just use our money.
Well, we're not going to have enough money to cover the $200,000 worth of stuff I have. But we could certainly look at some of the projects and do it. Yes. That is a distinct possibility. Okay, any more discussion on the ARPA situation and all these quotes? And if you guys want them, I can certainly get all of these sent to you.
They should have them.
Did you send them to everybody, not just me, Deb?
Correct.
Okay, so you should have gotten them from Deb then. Okay, so on to new business. I suggested last time that we consider writing up a job description for the intern position. So I went online and hold on. Now I got to get out of the searching for Joy stuff and back into where I need to be. So I went online and looked at the state information and where is it? And I sent it to, I did not send it to Deb and Hope. I sent it just to the board. Okay, never mind. I know I can't find it because I'm looking in my inbox instead of my sent box. Okay. Give me one sec. My computer's just being real slow going from the inbox to the sent box. Okay. Come on, open. There we go. You see what I mean about my computer being slow?
Erin, is the, has, excuse me, is the recording back on?
Yes.
Okay.
I turned it back on when I let Joy in, so we
Okay.
should be okay. So as I said, this basic job description, with the exception of the very last line that says this is an unpaid position usually offered to students in library science curricula for credit, everything came off the state website.
Okay.
So did people get a chance to take a look at it?
I like it. It looks good.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I hope so if the state wrote it. So we need to consider adding this then to the manual with all the other job descriptions. So I would like to make a motion that we can take that job description for the interns and add it to all the other job descriptions that we have in our library materials folders.
I second.
Elena seconds. What, Deb?
No, I was gonna say, we weren't, I'm not so sure we actually needed, or we weren't looking for that for what Hope and I were asking. But tell me again, I'm reading through this. Where does it say that it's, the most important thing we want it to be that if we were to have an intern, that it's not a paid position? And
Right.
you said it does say it here?
Yeah, let me,
Last line of the
the
paragraph.
last line of
Deb.
the paragraph at the top says this is an unpaid position usually offered to students in library science curricula for credit.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I thought you said it was at the bottom. I wouldn't see it, but I.
It's at the bottom of the actual job description, not at the bottom of the entire page. And as I said, with the exception of that one line, everything came off of the state library website. So there is a motion on the table to accept this job description and add it to our library paperwork. Do I hear a second? Elena, you seconded. Elena seconded. All in favor, say aye, raise your hand. Aye,
Aye.
aye. Okay. it's
Joy?
unanimous. Joy, you said aye, right?
She's there. She just contacted me. She must be there.
Yeah, okay. I thought I heard her say aye.
But she's muted.
Yeah,
Okay, but anyways, it passed.
okay, we'll check with Joy later to see if it was an abstention or it was a aye or nay or whatever. But there are 4 ayes, so it passes. Okay, now, I got called in to have a meeting with Erica.
And
Idea- What?
going into executive.
No, not yet. We're still working job descriptions.
Okay,
The concern is not that we have co-directors, but the confusion that comes up with having co-directors. And Erica requested that we try and codify something here. So what I have done, and we be aware that what I have here is just a description. It doesn't mean that this is what everybody does. It doesn't mean that there isn't flexibility here. But what I tried to do was split the 2 directors positions into co-director 1 and co-director 2. Okay, the one I am about to share is mislabeled. This is actually co-director 2. I apologize for that. Everything says in conjunction with co-director 1, so it's got to be co-director 2, and it's under co-director 2. I just need to edit that. So basically, the top paragraphs under the nature of the work is exactly the same for both of them. For this one, for co-director 2, it just says co-director 2 in conjunction with co-director 1, etc. And the first few things in the position responsibilities are exactly the same. And a lot of them say in conjunction with co-director 1. What I have done primarily here is split administrative things with technical things. So you can see under co-director 2 here, it says prepares and maintain reports, select and purchase all non-print and print materials, oversee programs and special events. Whereas the other one has more of the technical things. Okay, come on, stop sharing. And let me see if I can get that one open.
Well, the top of the page says that this is the description for co-director 1. But
Okay,
it reads as if it's for co-director 2.
right, that's what I
because
just said.
In conjunction. with.
Joan, there's a typo on the title of the first one I had up.
Okay,
That's supposed to be
okay.
co-director 2.
Okay, thanks.
Deb, yes?
I'm getting a note from Joy that she's not able to unmute herself. Anybody have any suggestions?
I thought that was her that just called in.
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay, then you're good. Because I let whoever was calling in thinking it was Joy.
It is me.
Okay, so now for, let's see if this will open. Okay, I'm gonna have to reopen this one. It is my computer. I apologize, people. I really do. My computer is simply not cooperating right now. Okay, currently it will not close out of where I am, even though it isn't open. So I'm trying to open another Gmail folder. So give me a minute, please. I really need a better computer. But I also don't have a car and I need to pay for that and a few other things. So computer's low on the list.
Oh, can I have a question while you are doing there?
Yes, Elena, sorry. I'm on my Gmail page, so I can't see if somebody raises their hand. So yes,
So,
Elena.
my concern is with the way how you send it to us. It's very hard to have a clear understanding of the difference between co-director 1, co-director 2. Maybe we should have a different shape. Co-director 1, boom, responsibilities. Co-director 2, boom, responsibilities.
Okay, well, I can do that, and it would simply take out all the things that say in conjunction with this director. As I said, the big thing is they are co-directors. They're going to be doing a lot of things together. So there's a lot of things that say this director works with this director to do things. If we pull out just what there is for individual directors, I can do that. It would be, as I said, the co-director 2 is more of the administrative reports things. Co-director 1 is more of the technical. But the big thing that Erica wanted to be made clear is that the proper channels for contacting the town should list one co-director as the liaison to me. And then I'm supposed to contact Erica and she will do whatever needs to be done on her end. She informed me that the library is not allowed to talk to other town groups by themselves. Yes, Joan?
Okay. I want this in executive session, please.
Okay.
I don't think we can do that.
We have it on our agenda to go into executive.
Not this
session.
particular, because it applies to the town policies. It's an
Right.
open
It-
job
Excuse
description.
me, it doesn't. And if we don't go to executive session, we're gonna end up with Erica here because I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so I think,
Okay, all I'm saying, Joan, is this is what Erica told me, that the town policy was for communication between groups. And as Elena said, if this is town policy, that's not executive session.
okay, it's a town policy that only Erica can deal with the town departments. Is that it?
Erica deals
So
with the chairs
if we
of-
want to do something in conjunction with the rec department, we have to go to Erica, who will go to the rec department.
and Erica,
I don't buy it. I have a problem with that because it puts an awful lot of responsibility on Erica. Okay? So that's my issue. It just sounds unwieldy for that to be a town policy.
okay,
If
Deb,
we
you had a
want to do
question?
something with the Conservation Commission on the grounds here, we go to you.
No, Conservation Commission is different. This is just the boards in town. The town employees and the board chairs. So Conservation Commission is a slightly different organization. It has different policies.
Okay.
I think all they want to do, they want to have one person from the library who is responsible, who is easy to get in contact with. And skip all this. I told Debbie, but I talked to Hope. No, it's a little.
That's exactly what it is, Elena. They just want to codify that there is one way of doing it, not, I talked to Hope and I heard this, but then I talked to Deb and I heard this. That's the whole thing. Deb, you've had a question?
Yeah, I have a gazillion different concerns and things I would love to talk about this, but I guess where do I want to start? I would like to see clarified, and I would like it in writing, that why is that the case? Because I've done a little research of my own over the weekend, and that has not been the practice. And I was even told from a director of 36 years that there wasn't anything in writing. So maybe it needs to be put in writing. You have to, I want to know, what is our relationship to the town as far as what we can and cannot do, what they can do for us and won't do for us? What is this whole thing about a quasi government, being that the town doesn't have a
We're
charter?
never going to
No,
get
but
that
the-
in writing. I asked Erica at this meeting that I got called into. I asked her about that. And she said there is nothing in writing. It has simply been an oral agreement that the town gives the library a budget. The town plows our parking lot. The town mows our lawns. That is the extent of the town's involvement in the library, but it is not in writing.
Well, I think maybe there are things that need to get checked out before even going further. I do not see where the confusion in this, as far as talking to two people or getting two people involved. The good thing is if you talk to any one of us, both of us know what's going on and could be of help. We tell each other everything
Okay,
that is going
that is
on.
your point of view from inside of the library. Deb, but
But
that
you're
has not
saying, where does
been,
the town have the right, the policy in writing to expect or do anything else differently? You're saying one thing, but how can you have, I would like clarity. You're saying one thing and
no,
doing
I'm
another.
I'm not saying one thing and doing another. I'm saying our interaction as a quasi-town organization is, they give us a budget, they plow, they mow. That is it. But the way the town policy is that it is the board chair who relays information to the town. And Erica says that is true for every board.
Yes.
Elena, you're on the Board of Education. Is that how they did it on the Board of Ed?
Yes, all boards do like this. Yes.
Okay, but those boards are
we're
not
not-
quasi autonomous. So we have a special situation here. I don't have any problem going to Karen, et cetera. I don't think that's an issue. And this may end up being a very good suggestion, but it is only a suggestion from Erica. There is no policy if it's not written, number one. There may be a tradition. There may be a tradition, but Deb is research and couldn't find it. So
Okay,
if
but there are
we
such things
are,
as oral
excuse me, if we are semi-autonomous, and do we hire the director and the co-director?
Yes,
Okay, so they are our employees, not the town's, right?
right.
Okay, so then you and the board has the right to say to Hope and Debbie that we would prefer that everything you take to Karen. We make a motion, we move on it. Now, we don't have the right to tell Karen what she does with it. If Karen says she wants to call Todd and ask a question, she calls Todd and asks a question. If Karen says she wants to go to Erica because it's a bigger problem and it involves other boards, then she does that. But Erica can't tell us how to run the library. See, this is a quasi thing. If she wants to do it, then the girls, excuse me, ladies, Hope and Deb would have to be town employees, which could be good or could be bad because they do deserve the benefits. And now with that bonus, they would get the bonus with the rest of the town employees. Can you see what I mean? This is a gray area. And I don't think we can, I think we need to vote on what we want to do and go with it.
Yes, Elena?
I'm sorry.
Sorry. So I'm sorry, Joanne, I totally understand your position. But I totally understand Erica's position. Okay, the whole town is, she needs to take care of the town, and it's not easy to have two people to ask and to run and to coordinate. That's an extra job. So I totally understand Erica's position. And
So-
I have to be truthful. From the most beginning, I never supported to have two directors. We could have an assistant director. So because I think it's the beginning of the mess where we probably can encounter at some point. No offending to Debbie and Hope, you're all doing a great job. But if one of you goes, boy, we are in mess. So that's how I see. So if we will have, that's my concern to say quickly, if we will have a separate job description or some differentiate co-director 1 and co-director 2, if one leaves, what we're gonna do? We're gonna change again? We don't have job description again? I don't know, guys. I don't feel comfortable supporting it too further, so that's my position.
Okay, well, I've been saying since I was chair, we do not have in our library paperwork job descriptions for co-directors. We need them.
Mhm.
And yes, co-directors are co-directors. They do a lot of things in conjunction. But to prove that they are two different people, I tried to take the list of everything, and this came directly out of this paperwork. You probably can't even see it, which came directly out of our folders. It says Wellington Public Library Job Description Director. And I simply split And as I said, I made one more administrative, one more technical. It does not mean that that is what they're stuck doing, that is the only thing that they can do. But it just gives us some job descriptions we can put in to our paperwork and say that we've got these set up. And then if one of the two of them does leave, maybe we want to rename them from co-directors to director and assistant director. But then we have a list of some of the jobs that should be done by this person. And then we would just have to go in and say, okay, instead of saying co-director 2 in conjunction with co-director 1, you'd say assistant director in conjunction with the director does these things. But it would make it a whole lot easier in the long run, if anything does happen, to have this in the paperwork.
Okay, Karen,
Joan?
I'd like to make a motion
Okay.
that we table these job descriptions until everybody on the board's had a chance to really read them and digest them. I'm
Okay,
glad
that's
you
fine.
brought them up. It's a big job you did. It's good. But I'd like to be able to look through it more.
And
thoroughly.
I can go in and edit them, make them a little easier to read and send them back out. Joan made a motion. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Elena will second. Okay, discussion.
Yeah, I have
I'll
a,
make a motion. I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Joy.
Okay,
Elena,
I know we're going to table the job descriptions until the August meeting.
oh, we did not vote yet.
Well, that's why I'm
she's just writing down the motion.
in the motion. Okay.
I have a quick question. I don't know if it's possible, Karen, to write if there is a lot of, they do a lot together, maybe then it's easier to make difference. Just this is responsible for this, well, this is responsible for this, the rest is the same.
Right,
Maybe.
I can do that. I can
That sounds
certainly
good.
do that.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table that Joan made. You have the second, Joan,
I seconded, Elena.
and like Joy did too, so whoever,
Yeah, okay, we've got,
okay, yes.
we need time for discussion, vote.
okay. So we have a motion on the table, we have a motion to table this until the board has a chance to better read these job descriptions. And in the meantime, I will edit them down and make them clearer and send them out to everyone. And so all in favor, raise your hand, say aye. 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 Joy? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it's unanimous. We will table this until we have a better chance to look at it.
Now, we have a
Yes, Joan.
second problem in here. I'm going to move that when it comes to dealing with the town appointed committees, is that what we call them? Okay, that the directors and the board take the concerns to Karen, and then Karen will do what she thinks is best. Okay,
Okay, so Joan has made a motion. Anybody second?
I'm so sorry, I totally missed it. I did not understand it was a
Joan
motion.
Joan made a motion that now anything that needs to go to the town goes through me as chair of the board.
But that's how it's supposed to be.
okay.
Exactly.
Everything goes only through the chair, so there is really, it's a void motion.
Okay, I'm just gonna put down that library concerns will go to the chairman, and then she will deal with them as she sees fit. Now, it might be some of it she's gonna come back to Debbie and Hope, or she's gonna come back to one of them, who knows, but put it on her desk. I mean, she has nothing else to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry, Karen.
Karen Ann,
Yes, Joy.
you can hear me, okay.
Yes, I can hear you. I just
Microphone.
saw your picture with you in
Yep.
front of the computer and
Yep.
you on the phone.
Yeah, Nick fixed the microphone.
Okay.
Computer's good now.
Okay, so one last thing on new business, and that is,
we haven't voted on it, Karen.
I thought we decided we didn't have to vote on it.
Nobody seconded.
I put a motion, is there a second?
I said I would second, but Elena said it isn't something that we need to vote on.
It's our procedure, I think we do.
No,
This is setting a policy.
But if the policy is already in place, that the town says everything should go
The
through the chair of the board.
library board doesn't have that
Okay.
policy.
Hold on, hold
We're
on.
not part of the town,
Okay, wait a second, Joan, wait a second, Joan, wait a second, Joan.
not that I can see.
Yeah, chair's description. You can look up the chair's description.
Yeah, I've got the folder.
I
in
did
front-
look it up the other day, but I don't remember what all it
I've got the
says.
folder in front of me. Give me a second. The governing board. I know I did find it in here. And it does say the director must do her or his best to carry out the board's goals and policy directions. And it is imperative that the board has backed the director's decision because it is not always crystal clear where policy stops and practice starts. But there is a whole list of things in this purple folder that we got about what the board is supposed to do and what the board chair is supposed to do. And I did look it up after I talked to Erica, and it did say that I was in charge of dealing with this stuff. I just can't find the particular page that I found it in.
Yeah, you're in charge. You're in charge. I know I went through it too at some point. I don't remember exactly where, for everything. So
Right.
whatever business comes out, it's always chair. All our concerns, we don't have voices separate. We have voices towards you, and you are the one who is dealing with everything.
Okay, so now I'm in the white binder.
Well, if the motion is not seconded, then it falls down. So let's just move on, maybe.
Okay. Acts as chief spokesperson representing the board, both orally and in correspondence. And the library directors respond to the board. So it is in here,
Okay,
okay? Like I said, after Erica called me into the meeting, I went and I checked on all of this. And it really does say it in there. Okay, the other thing that has been lapsed during the pandemic and we need to reestablish is our interaction with friends. Because there is supposed to be a member of the board that is a liaison to the friends. Does anybody here actually attend friends meetings?
they
Of
never
course.
have me on a night I can do it. I can't do another 6:30 meeting.
I can do it.
Would you be willing to do it, Elena?
I can do it. I attended at some point, one or two, I don't remember, but I can take it on myself to represent the board.
Okay, so Elena is willing to represent, so I make a motion that Elena is chosen as our liaison to the Friends of the Library. Do I hear a second?
I second it.
Okay, Rebecca seconds. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
I,
Aye. Okay, so that's unanimous, all in favor. Thank you very much for volunteering, Elena, I appreciate it. And that is the end of what I have for things that we can do in the open. So Kathy, we have to go to an executive session. And as an executive session, if you want to stay, I have to put you into a waiting room.
Can I bring up another point of new business so that Kathy
Oh.
would be here for it?
Oh, yes, that's fine.
Okay, I would like to be able to chair the committee for planning our 200th anniversary celebration. And of course, that would involve all the board members eventually, and all of the staff eventually.
is it a motion? Did you
Well,
make-
I don't really know if we need a motion, but if anybody doesn't want me to do that, this speak now or forever hold your peace.
I would suggest we not make a motion right now, that we let Joan look into it, and when it becomes more formalized, we set up a.
By
subcommittee.
next month, it has to be planned. You
Oh.
don't want any more look into, because
Okay,
we start this in how many months? Are we rolled over to 2023? This is,
I have no idea. Is the celebration for the entire year of 2023?
it might be, who knows? But yeah, we should be doing things throughout the year, not necessarily, a whole lot of them. But this isn't just one, get together with cake that tastes like sawdust and lousy punch. And, and this will take money. It's going to take money if you do it right. I've been here, I forget how many years, 16 maybe. I've never seen the town have a real celebration of any sort. They'll have like the Wellington Day and stuff like that, which is really neat. But to have any really sort of like formal celebration or anything, I don't know, maybe it's just never happened. I don't.
I think you should start it. Sorry. I think you really should start it. Thank you for
Yeah.
volunteering.
I think it would be nice to really do this up in spades and have a really, several things throughout the year doing different things. We show movies. Well, why don't we take this 200 years and break it down into 4 or 5 sections and show a movie that is representative of that point in time? Things like that. And we've got to plow through and find old pictures of the library and where the first library was. I don't have no idea. I mean, this is a real learning trip.
There are a couple of history reference books that I actually took out of the library that Deb gave me that have some actual like transcripts of town meetings from way back.
Yeah,
We could take a look at that and see if there's
I
anything from
know.
town meeting that
So
talks
this
about
means that
celebration of
the
library.
Historical Society has to get involved. And I talked with Donna, and she said that, she's part of the Historical Society. And she said she would get on board and trying to pull them in and see what they have. And, let's do this right.
Okay,
Right, but it's got to be basic plan by next month. At least the basic outline has to be done.
okay, so do we have to vote on Joan chairing a subcommittee to
I
do
don't-
that? And we will all help her as we
I don't
can?
know. Okay,
No, I think we just support her. Just
because Elaine is afraid she's going to get stuck being appointed.
Elena just volunteered to be liaison to Friends. We're not going to push too many things on Elena
Yes.
right now.
Yeah, and yes, and because the Friends will have to be involved,
Right.
and let them play a good part of it. That's what they get for the big bucks or something like that.
Okay, so we'll, if anybody comes up with any suggestions, send them to Joan. We'll see what
Yeah.
Joan comes
We
up
gotta
with.
get moving. We gotta get moving. And I'm a little worried that we're gonna look pretty flat when if it comes to May and we haven't done anything, So, okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
thank you.
Anything else anybody wants to talk about before we go to executive session? Okay, so Kathy, I am going to put you in a waiting room if you want to wait till we're done. Otherwise, she can leave. Okay, I need to pause the recording. And as I said, Kathy was the only other one here, and looking at it now, I do not see Kathy in the, hold on, I don't see her in the, yeah, she's not in the waiting room anymore. So present to speak, there's nobody here. Okay, any final board concerns?
Just a thank you to Jenny for the gardens. They look beautiful. I think we should put that in the minutes that we appreciate how nice everything looks out there right now. That's all I had.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, I personally would like to just speak to the board alone for 2 minutes. So it would end the recording. So can I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting right now? And then I just have 2 minutes with the board afterwards. Joy is seconding that. All in favor of getting out of here? Okay, and so Deb and Hope, I just need to say something to the board real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so,
It's recording. Do you know it's recording?
no, I didn't.